Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. You know, there is celebration in the air, but there's a lot of things that we still can't trust anymore. And one of those things is what is in our water. I found Sentry Wellness System that removes harmful, toxic chemicals like pharmaceutical drugs, volatile organic compounds, and maybe some mRNA. Check out Sentry Wellness System. It removes harmful toxins and enriches water with essential nutrients. It's much healthier and cheaper than buying plastic water. SentryH2O.com and use the promo code HEALTHY10 because you want that discount. That's SentryH2O.com and the promo code is HEALTHY10. You know, in a time when every vote and every voice matters more than ever, it's up to all of us to take action and empower ourselves, our neighbors, to be bolder and braver, from supporting grassroots campaigns to expanding voter education. It's really important, guys, to shine a light on the people making it happen. Today, I'm excited to welcome someone who's truly dedicated to making a difference. He's a tireless advocate for electoral integrity, a leader in voter outreach, and a driving force behind empowering communities to take informed action. Dan Rogers. Welcome, Dan.
Good to be here.
Thanks so much for joining me. Now that the election is over, thank goodness Trump won. Talk about a red wave. Thank you so much. Thank you, God. Because many of us were praying, but what are the most effective strategies for empowering others, especially local communities, through grassroots campaigns?
Yeah, I think one of the main things that helped Trump win is the fact that we've been working on trying to get rid of the electronic voting machines ever since 21. And we had several lawsuits filed, and I'm working with United Sovereign Americans, and they had a suit filed on 9 different states. And we had 174 electoral votes perfected with standing, and similar groups are doing other things, and they knew we were watching. So we don't think they messed with the presidential election this time. And I think that was huge. And I think that's one of the things that helped save our country. So if we can get back to hand-marked, self-authenticated, tangible ballots that can be verified in our local, and bring our elections back to the local community and to our counties, and get them away from the states, then I think we'll go a long way in making people feel like they have a say in their elections again. I think it's a big problem because a lot of people think they don't trust the electronic machines because you can't verify them.
They don't. And, you know, years ago, when our ancestors were voting, they would walk into a room and state their name and tell the group of people who they were going to vote for. So you'd have that real physical person right in front of you, and you could tell who they are and vouch for who they say they are because of the communities. Everybody knew. But nowadays, there is a lot of corruption, and it's really offended a lot of people. And I think that's why people didn't vote for a long time. HunterNation.org is a grassroots organization we found out that 50% of hunters, believe it or not, Dan, don't vote. And up to 50% of Christians weren't voting. We got apathetic, we got complacent, and you know what? Busy and tired of the gaslighting, tired of the lies. And now, thankfully, I think this is the great awakening. People are waking up to the fact that we can and we have taken back control of this voting system and our country, most importantly.
Yeah, but we can't let up. Now we really have to pour the coal to it and get rid of these machines. We have to get back to hand-marked, self-authenticated, tangible ballots that can be verified. It needs to be in our precinct on Election Day and get rid of any ambiguity we might have regarding our elections. And then people have confidence in our elected officials and in our government. The reason we have all these problems is it's foundational. It's about our voting system. We have to take it back.
Well, what's the holdup? We knew that in 2020. We knew there was a problem. Why is it that nothing changed? We knew there were problems. Mike Lindell had it. Go ahead.
It's your local county elected officials that are refusing to do their job. They are somehow manipulated into believing that the state should handle the elections, not at the county level. And it's because they're lazy. It's because the local voters are not holding them accountable. And I think part of that's because they just don't know what to do. And so what I'm trying to do is I've created a platform and we're rolling that out called We the People Town Square, where we can educate voters and elected officials on their role, what their responsibilities are, and how you as an individual citizen can get involved in the two-party system and in your local community. And I'm calling it Operation Show Up. So if we'll just start showing up, we don't have to know anything, do anything, just show up to your county commissioners meetings, your school board meetings. We can have a profound effect and we can take our state back, because Texas is going to go the way of California, and it's going to be done at the local level, and we can stop it.
What are some of the things that you personally do in your role in this organization?
Well, what I do is I mainly talk to people. I've talked to two people today, one in Comal County that wants to be a part of our Operation Show Up. I talked to one in Odessa. He came to our Trump trailers down there and bought merch. And because I had these Trump trailers out across the state, and we sold Trump merch and patriotic stuff to raise the money for me to engage the voters. And then I send out messages to voters and I tell them where their polling place is and give them a sample ballot, and then they show up and vote. I don't believe in telling people how to vote. I just want them to vote, because I believe in the individual people, that if they are informed, they'll make the right decision. The problem is that either party, in my opinion, and I happen to be a county chair of the Republican Party, but I don't think either party at the state level, I don't think it's necessarily that they don't want people to vote, but they certainly don't really do anything to encourage it, because then they want control, right? It's human nature. So I think I'm trying to educate county parties on how to engage the voters. I built the platforms in order to do it. I know what works. And so that's kind of what I do. I'm kind of laying the rails so we can run the train.
You know, it's quite discouraging, though, when you see young people that don't want to vote because they feel overwhelmed by all the issues. We need to create a better way to get information out to people about some of the issues that they'll be voting for as well. And not only are you voting for president, but you're voting for a lot of other issues that will affect each and every citizen. And oftentimes they're not your railroad commissioner. They don't know who to vote for. What would you recommend that first-time voters do? Where can they can sign up at your organization, but how else can they get involved in their communities?
Well, if they'll start showing up, you know, I would pick a party. Ideally, you pick a party, whether it's Democrat or Republican, and you start going to their meetings and become a precinct chair if it's available, or a precinct captain, and then you learn how the party process works. The way what most people don't understand is the mainstream media, or I call it the government-controlled media. You always hear about the democracy. They never mention the word republic. We are not a democracy. We are a republic, a representative republic. We elect representatives who are supposed to represent our interest at the county commission, in the state legislature, in the Congress, right? We elect senators. They don't represent the people. They shouldn't be elected by the people. But they changed that in the constitutional amendment. They used to be elected by the legislatures because the senator's role is to represent the state's interest at the federal level. And people don't understand that anymore. They don't understand that we're a republic. I will never use the word democracy ever. That to me, I cringe when I hear that word, because I believe they're manipulating people to think that we're a democracy. And a lot of people buy into it. I hear conservative politicians say we are a democracy, and we're not. That tells me that guy, don't vote for him.
What's the main difference between a democracy and a republic? And I agree with you. Every time we see somebody saying that, we're like, what? No, wait. But what's the main
democracy? I mean, a republic, it protects the role of the minority interests, because you elect representatives. But a democracy is mob rule. That means the majority wins. Whatever the majority wants, the minority's wiped out. And so that turns into a dictatorship almost overnight. It's a very bad system. You don't want a democracy.
No.
You don't last, but
we are so grateful that this election turned out the way that it did. And there was not just a red wave, it was a red tsunami. And I don't know about you and your town and the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis, but two things. So I feel like there's an incredible energy in the air and happiness and freedom. Like, we don't have to be ashamed. I remember I got a Trump hat, and I was a little worried about wearing it out in public. And I started wearing it proudly in public. And I'm so glad that there are people like you, Dan. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Thank you for your support in the Republican Party, and God bless you. Thanks for joining me.
Just show up. That's all we have to do.
That's right.
Thank you.
Don't go away, everyone. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.